Running a business comes with challenges, but protecting it shouldn't be one of them. That's why we bring you the Coronation Business Protection Insurance, a tailored business protection policy. Business Protection Insurance offers fire and allied peril, flood and theft, and personal accident covers. Choose from 4 flexible bundle options designed to suit your business needs. Follow these simple steps to sign up. Step 1. Dial *170# to access the MTN Momo menu. Select option 5, Financial Services. Choose option 5, Insurance. Select option 8, Coronation Insurance. Step 2, Customer Registration. Select option 1 to register. Enter your business name and select option 1 to continue. Enter your business location and select option 1 to proceed. Final step, Plan Selection and Confirmation. Choose option 1 for the basic plan. Review the outline plan details including your name and select option 1 to confirm. A prompt will be sent to your phone to approve the debit of the premium. Once registered, you will receive a policy number via SMS from Coronation Insurance. A representative will confirm your inventory details and coverage begins immediately after payment. Stock confirmation is completed within 5 working days. Get a business protection insurance today with Coronation.
Buying motor insurance just got a whole lot easier. Enjoy the ease of getting covered anytime, anywhere, and it's fast, simple, secured, and convenient. Here's how to do it in just a few steps. Step 1. Log on to www.ecoronation.com. Navigate to Buy Insurance and select the Motor Insurance tab. Step 2. Fill out the brief form with your required details. Customer information. Choose your preferred business category, individual or corporate. Enter your name, phone number, email address, and date of birth. Next, product information. Select new business, vehicle registration number. Select your preferred product, comprehensive, third party or third party fire and theft. Select usage type, private individual, private corporate, taxi and etc. Vehicle value. Choose currency, which will give you your currency rate. Enter make, model, year of manufacture, vehicle trim, chassis number, color of vehicle, and select the start date, which will automatically give you the end date. Next, additional covers. Choose no or yes if you wish to buy extra seats, no or yes if you wish to buy excess, and no or yes for third-party property damage limit. Referral. No or yes if this is a referral business. Review the summary of details before clicking Submit Request. Step 3. Complete the payment securely online. Choose your preferred payment method, mobile money, Visa or MasterCard. If paying via mobile money, select your provider and enter your mobile money number. Review the summary of details before initiating payment. Once payment is successful, click to verify. Step 4. Download your policy documents, policy receipt, and policy sticker. Step 5. We value your feedback. Tell us about your experience with our service and what we could improve on, and submit feedback. Say goodbye to queues and hello to convenience with eCoronation. Are you ready to safeguard your career and secure your professional future? Coronation presents Professional Indemnity Insurance, your shield against claims arising from errors, omissions, or negligence in your services. But how do you ensure you have this essential protection? It's simple. Follow these easy steps to secure your coverage. Step 1. Log on to www.ecoronation.com. Navigate to Buy Insurance and select the Professional Indemnity tab. Step 2. Fill out the brief form with your professional details and insurance requirements. Enter your name, mobile number, email address, a full description of your activity, country, years of experience, and select your start date, which will automatically give you your end date. Review your coverage options and select the plan that best suits your needs. Next, upload your national ID and professional certificate ID. Save your information to proceed. Step 3. Complete the payment securely online. Choose your preferred payment mode, mobile money, Visa, or MasterCard. If paying via mobile money, select your provider and enter your mobile money number. Review the summary of details before initiating payment. Once payment is successful, click to verify. Step 4. Download your document. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your career. Protect your future. Get professional indemnity insurance with Coronation today. Buying motor insurance just got a whole lot easier. Enjoy the ease of getting covered anytime, anywhere, and it's fast, simple, secured, and convenient. Here's how to do it in just a few steps. Step 1. Log on to www.ecoronation.com. Navigate to buy insurance and select the motor insurance tab. Step 2. Fill out the brief form with your required details. Customer information. Choose your preferred business category, individual or corporate. Enter your name, phone number, email address, and date of birth. Next, product information. Select new business, vehicle registration number. Select your preferred product, comprehensive, third party or third party fire and theft. Select usage type, private individual, private corporate, taxi and etc. Vehicle value. Choose currency, which will give you your currency rate. Enter make, model, year of manufacture, vehicle trim, chassis number, color of vehicle, and select the start date, which will automatically give you the end date. Next, additional covers. Choose no or yes if you wish to buy extra seats, no or yes if you wish to buy excess, and no or yes for third-party property damage limit. Referral. No or yes if this is a referral business. Review the summary of details before clicking submit request. Step 3. Complete the payment securely online. Choose your preferred payment method: mobile money, Visa or MasterCard. If paying via mobile money, select your provider and enter your mobile money number. Review the summary of details before initiating payment. Once payment is successful, click to verify. Step 4. Download your policy documents, policy receipt, and policy sticker. Step 5. We value your feedback. Tell us about your experience with our service and what we could improve on, and submit feedback. Say goodbye to queues and hello to convenience with eCoronation.
To be your host and moderator for today's live webinar session. The title of this webinar is going to be the role of insurance in managing everyday risk from uncertainty to security. Before we begin this morning session, I would like us to go over a few ground rules for this engagement. Please mute your microphones throughout the session to minimize background noise. All attendees are on view-only mode for this session because we value your interactions. We will also give you a Q&A at the bottom of your screen so that you can bring in your questions as the program goes on. We would also like that you note that this session is being recorded, and then after the session, we'll make available the edits for you. All materials that will be referred to in this program will also be made available for you after the participation. Connect with us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, X, and then YouTube. You can follow us live. The agenda for today will be straightforward. First, we will begin with the opening remarks from our Managing Director, Insurance in Managing Everyday Risk. Thank you once again, MD. On the program next, we would like to take the insights from our keynote speaker. I would like to introduce him. His name is Mr. Michael Abiu. He is the Chief Executive Officer of MGA Consulting Ghana Limited. He's an adjunct lecturer at the Methodist University of Ghana and the current president and chairman of the Governing Council of the Chartered Institute of Marketing, CIMG Ghana. With over 20 years of experience, Michael is a seasoned enterprise development and governance expert with core expertise in sales, marketing, business strategy, organizational development, and entrepreneurial development. He is also a successful entrepreneur, having built and led ventures focused on business growth and transformation. Michael holds a dual MPhil degrees in entrepreneurship and corporate strategy and business administration, providing a strong academic foundation for his leadership and consulting roles. He is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, as mentioned earlier, and the National Institute of Marketing Nigeria, the Chartered Institute of Leadership and Corporate Governance Ghana, and the Institute of Directors. Michael serves on the boards of Telecel Ghana, the Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies, Build Financial Technologies Limited, and Secure Risk Insurance Brokers, contributing to governance and oversight and strategic direction in and around the financial services. He is passionate about leadership development, mentorship, and professional excellence. Michael is known for his charisma and ability to connect people meaningfully. Michael values family inclusion and collaboration. He's married with 2 children and embraces a strong sense of community and shared success. If you know Michael, you know all of these are true. Ladies and gentlemen, join me welcome our keynote speaker for today's session, Mr. Michael Abiu.
Thank you very much, my brother. How are you doing?
We're good, Michael. How are you doing too?
I'm good. And greetings to our listeners and participants. Can you hear me?
Yes, Michael, we can hear you. We can hear you clearly.
Okay, good. So it's good to be here, good to have this discussion. Insurance has been a passion for me, I think, for the past 20 years. And it's good to have this discussion. I want to commend Coronation for seeking to close the gap between the insurers and us, and also being able to put the information out there and educate the public. So great to be here. Nia, are you there?
Yes, thank you very much, Michael. Thank you so much. Michael, we are talking about the uncertainty, moving from uncertainty to security when it comes to the role of insurance and managing everyday risk. And like you mentioned, it's a gap that needs to be bridged between insurers and property holders. Michael, can you hear me? Hello, Michael?
You were muted.
Oh, sorry. So, Michael, I was talking about moving from uncertainty to security and the role of insurance in managing everyday risk. And as you highlighted, it's very important that we bridge the gap between insurers and property owners. I would like you to share some light on how uncertainty is a part of us and how we can move from uncertainty to security, and what our environment looks like when it comes to managing risk currently.
So generally, I think that we need to look by first looking at what are the gaps, what is it that is happening on the market, and what is causing this uncertainty within these markets. And I want to address a few. For instance, one of the key, determinants is low awareness within the market. People are generally not aware of the concept of insurance, and I like the way Josie Oyal, started the whole discussion when he spoke about the statement he made at the forum. He says insurance is the backbone of investment. So every single environment, every single investment you do. And when he was saying that, I was just thinking about it, and I'm saying that if that is the case, that means that anything we want to do, if we want to invest in education, if we want to invest in houses, if we want to invest in business, if we want to invest in family, whatever type of investment you are thinking about, then insurance must be present, insurance is the key, and insurance is the backbone. And so, one of the things that we must seek to do is to send this communication out there. And so, one of the biggest gaps we have is low awareness. People are just not aware the full spectrum of what insurance can do for them. There are a lot of people, when you talk insurance, all that they know is either it's life insurance, property insurance, or and property even they are limited to only motor insurance. And the whole environment of creating this literacy and making sure that information is out there that gap needs to be bridged. Another gap that I see over the years on the market is that deep distrust. A lot of people do not trust insurance companies, and most often than not, you see these things emanating from negative claims experience, and some of them are also based on perception or what people are saying, which might not necessarily be true. And one of the phrases that keeps and is dominant on the market is that insurance won't pay. Insurance is a scam. And that basically erodes credibility, discourages people wanting to buy insurance, and it's creating that gap that we need to start looking at. Another problem you also have, and also looking at it from the marketing perspective, is how we communicate insurance. You realize that we are framing insurance as a technical thing. And sometimes, even us as brokers or us as those even within the market, when we are communicating amongst ourselves, we present insurance as so technical and so complex that people will not be able to understand. And we need to start thinking through that and start presenting insurance not as a technical thing, but focus on what insurance does, the real life outcomes that insurance enables in the lives of people. We need to stop. We need to start, looking at that. And then the other, challenge that we also got that I have identified also is the communication channels. Mostly, when we are communicating and the way we communicate insurance, we tend to miss the majority of people, and the majority are within the informal sector. I know the insurance awareness group within the insurance industry is doing something, but it's too little compared to the number of markets that we have within the country, compared to the number of SMEs that are operating within the country. There's a lot of communication that must go, and this communication must go targeted at the informal sector, because most of the communication, for instance, if a company like Coronation is talking about claims and is advertising, they are using the platforms that are more aligned to the formal sector rather than where the majority
Recording in progress.
informal sector. And the last gap I think we need to look at also, bridging in order to transfer or move us from uncertainty to an environment where people will be happy and will want to buy is mis-selling. And I say mis-selling because we, our approach to selling insurance has been more of what we call a sales first approach. So we go to clients and the focus is about how do we introduce this product, how do we get them to buy, rather than looking at it from a more product first approach or customer first approach, where you look at how do I get the client to understand, how do I present the environment. I believe that these things have created the gaps. But how then do we bridge these gaps? And I want to maybe profess some few before we move on. The first thing is that we need to embark as an industry, and I say that an industry-led, GIA-led campaign. The insurance industry must invest heavily in financial literacy campaigns. We see that we are doing very little in educating the public when it comes to what we see on the market is people selling this product or selling that product or pushing this product, the homeowners product or a motor product. but we are not out there educating people, creating an awareness, at least affecting the next generation of users. And I believe that once we decide to start looking at that, we'll be able to look at how then do we bridge the gap. There's this whole new environment of microinsurance, and we need to start looking at how then do we create, for instance, mobile phone linked, income style linked, micro products. There are people who get their monies on a daily basis. How do we fix those people within the insurance program? There are people who get their monies within weekly basis. How do we fix them within our product? There are people who have unstable financial, flows. How do we fix these type of people within our environment? And these are things that we need to start looking at. And just not the product also, but the product should be designed in a way that allows for flexible premium payments. Unlike the life, when it comes to, for instance, the fire aspect of these processes, you will realize that payments are done, on a yearly basis. And if it is not a yearly based thing, it becomes very expensive for customers to be able to do that. We need to start looking at the lifestyle, looking at designing product that fits the capacities of people that we have on the market. Another thing too that is going, and we must really be able to work on that, is to look at partnerships, key partnerships, and ensure that every financial touch point, and I mean every financial touch point, everywhere people, fintech platforms or the mobile platforms, be it on at the cooperative level, SUSU level, be it at the savings and loans or commercial level, every single touch point, one which is financial, must be embedded an insurance product. And we need to start that campaign. And once we start doing that, you will realize that we will now find insurance being present at all the financial transactions that everybody is looking at. The other thing too is also to look at our salespeople. A lot of them are not professionals. They know how to talk, they come in and teach them one or two things, and then we send them out there to sell. And it is more about commission, so their focus is how do we get the people to buy, not how do we educate and get them. So you realize that we are moving away from ethical sales. Educate first. We don't do that. And we look at sell first. How do we get them to buy the product? If we're going to shift and start retraining our agents and start getting them to be professional salespeople and getting them to be ethical and transparent in the way they sell, and move from that concept where it is all about sell first to a concept where we are looking at let's educate them first before, based on the knowledge they have, they now buy from us. If we start doing that, we'll be working on bridging this gap. And then also we need to start telling our story, because we don't. The insurance industry pays a lot of claims, and people are not aware of that. So we need to start working on how do we tell our stories. When there are real life payments of claims and it has affected lives, we need to come together and tell that story. We need to teach our agents on how to tell these stories, and also to build credibility when they are out there. And I believe that these things could start the process of bridging this gap from uncertainty to security.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Mr. Abiu. I think you have clearly outlined some of the practical interventions to addressing some of these problems. Indeed, we need to move from that place of uncertainty to security, whether it's individual or SME products. You've adequately addressed that. I was particularly interested in the fact that you are talking about awareness creation, product design, and then distribution methods. But I want to come in with a follow-up question. You see, after we've had or we've implemented these frameworks, there's still another bit of perception And the perception comes from those that already hold some of these insurance policies. We have an NIC consumer perception survey that shows that about 40% of our customers believe that insurers delay to pay claims or make the claims process difficult. If we are looking for people to tell our stories, I think the best point would be to start from the people who currently have policies. But we have about 40% of them that believe that the claims process is not fair, and it directly affects the incoming customers. What governance or customer service or branding measures can we put in place to improve transparency in the claims process as we shift from negative public perception to confident one?
Tony, honestly, one of the biggest challenges that I would say over the last 20 years, I'm saying is the biggest challenge for sales, for the insurance industry, is our claims management. How effective our claims management has been. We have NIC, I remember when NIC introduced no premium, no cover. It came with a claim payment directive. And you have a lot of the organizations not adhering to the processes that is within the claims payment directive. And we are, having so many reasons why we shouldn't do that. And it is affecting the industry as a whole. Now let me come to your question. And one of the things you raised was, how do we strengthen, for instance, governance and oversight? I would look at it from three perspectives when it comes to governance. We need to set timelines and stick to them. We need to set the timelines. And you see, the owners of paying claims, when you pay claims, you build confidence, not only for the industry, but even for you as an organization. And for when we are setting these timelines, we must set these timelines with a clear understanding that we are creating processes that is going to allow the customer to be able to claim effectively. We need to set up systems and processes in place. And recently, I'm dealing with a claim issue where the claim is around 9,000. And this company has branches, and the claim happened somewhere further away. Now, the insurance company is asking for a final, police report. And we all know and understand the problem with this industry in getting police report, the location, and we go, and then they are looking at the cost in bringing in getting all this documentation. I'm getting feedback at my end. They are looking at the cost and bringing all this documentation through, and then you get to realize that the client is saying, it's okay, I don't want to claim anymore. And once these things happen, you realize that now it erodes the confidence that they have within the system, and then the perception now becomes bad, and then it goes around and then affects the entire industry as a whole. So I think that internally, we need to set our own claims governance guidelines. Now, these claims government guidelines should not be, out of what NIC have proposed. I think that we should even set guidelines that are better than what is within what has been proposed by NIC. And once we start doing that and paying claims and paying them fast, then we will be able to start building that. The second thing that we must do as an industry is automate the claim workflow. It's too manual. We need to start investing in systems that automate claim workflows so that the claims can be a bit more faster. And I want this automation, my recommendation is that this automation must be linked to a client interface so that clients have real life information as to what is happening with their claim. So I can just go on my app on the phone for coronation, and I know my claim has moved from this stage to that stage and this stage to that stage. So I don't have to call, and I see the progress, and I see where the claim is moving on. So we need to start looking at how do we automate these claims processes. And it is there, the tools are there, the structures are there. Insurance companies in Ghana need to start looking at that. And the last thing I would want to say under the governance is that we need to build in systems. As I'm proposing that we need to build timelines and also automate the system, we need to also integrate into it internal and external audits that would identify bottlenecks, as quickly as possible. So every quarter, every organization must seek to be improving the claims process, taking feedback and say, how do we better serve our customers rather than having claims policies within organizations that have lasted for the last 10 years. Some of you have it lasting for the last 5 years, and it's been too long, and we're not changing them. But the other side of it is also the using what we call the customer service improvement. One, can we play claims within 48 and 72 hours? I always say, if you have checked, if everything is okay, why delaying payment? Why are we saying it's at audit? Why is it at finance and it's waiting for signature and it's waiting for that? These things erodes the confidence. So from the customer service, improvement perspective, we need to fast track it. Can we be able to pay within 48 to 72 hours? I'm not saying don't do your evaluations, but get enough people who are doing your evaluations so that when you are sending an engineer to go and do your reviews, you can have an engineer. So once the accident is reported, within 24 hours, an engineer must be able to be present, and an engineer must be able to do the assessment and come back with a feedback. Another thing too is also that we need to start, in terms of customer service improvement, look at mobile first claims submission. So for instance, I should not take a physical form to file my claim. I don't need to be physically present within the insurance company or its branches to be able to file my claim. The entire claim process, in terms of filing and following up, should be on the mobile phone. Now, that is the main tool for communication. We are buying insurance on the mobile phone. Why can't we claim using the mobile phone? We need to start looking at how then do we transfer, claims processes, application, sending of pictures, uploading documents, driver's licenses, accident reports. All of this should be on the phone and take the interface for and then either you're using apps, you're using WhatsApp, or you're using USSD. And then the last one, when it comes to the customer service perspective on this, is how then do we build simple, transparent claims guidelines? It should be in plain language, and that guide should be available. So if I have a claim, the guide should guide me. What should be the first thing I should do? What should be the second thing I should do? What should be the third thing? What are the documents needed? And these things should be available on these mobile apps and mobile platforms. And we should be able to be sending these things to the people to guide them. Now, in terms of brand, and you raised the issue of brand, how then do we build a brand to bridge this gap? I think that it is high time the industry publishes claim statistics and settlement deadlines on a monthly basis. People must know what insurance companies are doing. And what's the name? GIA, in one of their programs, was going around letting people know the volume of claims that has been paid by the insurance industry. And I was part of one of the processes, and you can see the surprise in the face of people when we are telling them this is how much we are paying. I think this should not be a GIA one-off event. I believe that on a monthly basis, in the dailies, on everywhere in social media, we need to collect the industry statistics and we need to publish it. People must know, people must feel, and then we must give them examples. And also, this one was paid in 1 week, this one was paid in 2 weeks, this volume was paid. We need to start publicizing these things. And then we need to also start sharing real stories of successful claims. I remember there was a claim I was handling for the state housing, and fortunately the company paid it very fast. When the MD got the check, MD said, no, this cannot be Ghana. I never thought Ghanaian insurance companies pay claims this way. And you know what he said? He said, you know what? I am ready to do any video for you. I'm ready to go on video and market your organization. Let Ghana know that it is happening in Ghana. effective claims payment is happening in Ghana. Anyway, the insurance company didn't follow up and then it didn't happen. But the point is this: these stories must be told if we want to present the industry. When you pay claims and you pay them fast and you pay them very effective, we need to start talking to our clients and we need to ask them to share, the stories. And this things can be the insurance commission and the insurance companies represented by GIA, the whole focus message. I believe when customers repeatedly see claims paid quickly, when they repeatedly see claims paid fairly, and they see the transparency in claims payment, the narrative will now start shifting from, oh, these people do not pay claims, to, oh, they pay claims and they pay it fast. We will shift from an environment of suspicion to people having confidence in the industry. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Michael. We are still moving from uncertainty to security. And Michael, thank you so much for those highlights. I just want to drop one of the industry statistics. Just like Michael said, we pay a lot of claims in the insurance industry. And I have this statistic that says that the non-life insurers pay about 5 million Ghana cedis per day across the entire industry, and this is quite a large amount of money that. Yes, yes.
That story must be told and told consistently.
I agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. And you've also highlighted the practical governance steps that we can use to improve supervision when it comes to claims payments, just to make sure that our word is our promise, and I really follow that. You've also mentioned that we should automate the claims workflow. I believe when you talk about fintechs and then the application of technology, all these things become more and more possible. Michael, thank you so much. I just wanted to get your perspective on this before I move over to my panelists, and it's the fact that we have SMEs representing about 90% of Ghana's private sector, according to the Ghana Statistical Service. If SMEs represent about 90% of our private sector, and then we also have UNDP reporting that 70% of Ghanaians have no form of insurance. It looks like on one end we have an opportunity, on the other end we have gaps. You've spoken about this, but I want to now relate it to the point where we are bringing in technology and we are bringing in fintechs. I would like you to share some light on embedded insurance, micro-insurance, and how the ordinary Ghanaian can approach the opportunities out there for insurance, knowing that claims are being paid. What would you say to the ordinary Ghanaian when it comes to getting insurance? And what products should they get? And what mediums should they go through? What should they look out for? Michael?
So I think the first one is how then do we embed insurance into the SME sector, and how do we ensure that it helps these SMEs to build resilience and also be able to build continuity. One of the key things that I work on and I'm so excited about in terms of my consulting firm is business continuity, and it's been a big issue for the country, especially for businesses owned by Ghanaians, and therefore it's something that I am very, very, very passionate about. Now, let's look at some practical interventions, and I have seen some insurance companies start that process. And the first I would talk about is we building SME tailored insurance products. We need to understand what the SME is going through. We need to understand the environment of the entrepreneur, the SME businesses, and design products that would suit them. This whole environment where we are still using the standard covers that we give to these big businesses and corporates, and we transfer them to SME environment must change. Yes, you would be, when you talk about SME tailored product, you should be thinking about bundling products. When we talk about bundling product, we are looking at putting fire, equipment cover, and even employee together as one complete product and being able to sell it and pushing it. The SMEs must see it as SME friendly. The SMEs must see that process or those products. They must identify themselves with that product. And so we need to first start looking at how then do we do that. Now, as we design the product, the second thing we need to also consider is the irregular cash flows of a lot of SMEs. And you realize that a lot of them are now struggling and building their businesses. And it is even more at that time that they need insurance. And so we need to start looking at and have conversations with the NIC to start looking at how then do we build this product. But as we build this product, we look at flexible premium payment schedules, maybe quarterly, maybe semi-annually, maybe pay as you sell models. We're talking about revenue linked models, pay as you use models. There are various models that we can look at, but these models must fit within the SME environment. Because then if it is based on pay as you sell, the person can then align what they want to pay, and as they sell, they make more payments when it comes to insurance. As they grow, their insurance premiums also grow with them. So we need to look at the premium payment option and shift away from that block payment into a system that makes it easier for SMEs to be able to relate. Another thing too that we can also look at is how do we work with, for instance, associations, SME associations? How do we work with the cooperatives that we have within the system? How do we work with the chambers of commerce in order to build trust and industry-linked products to these SMEs? So how do we bring all hairdressers together and create a product that is suited and resolves the risks that are exposed to hairdressers? How do we bring mechanics together so that we then create a product that suits them and helps resolve their problems and uncertainties? And these are things that we need to do. But to be able to do that, we need to partner and work with various groupings as we have them in the system. Another trend which is also coming, which I would also add the voice to, is embedding insurance in the digital ecosystem. For instance, when I go and buy from Melcom or a shop, can I have insurance embedded in it? When I buy online, does it give me some level of insurance cover? Logistics platforms. For instance, if I'm using QuickBooks, does it allow me to have some level of insurance, embedded in it? If I'm using mobile money for payments, and if I'm paying over mobile money, if I'm using my telephone. So we need to look at how then do we embed insurance in some digital ecosystems. Some few have come on board, and thankfully the NIC has the sandbox that allows for these digital innovations. So we need to start looking at and start thinking through how do we embed insurance within the digital ecosystem. And generally you need to digitalize distribution and claims. We need to start looking at mobile onboarding. So basically, I must buy my insurance, sell the insurance, and make claims online without any interface. And once we do that also, we realize that we remove the frictions, we remove a lot of issues, remove the situation with time and payments, and you realize that we are able to build a robust system that addresses a number of this issue. But you also raised one key question. How do we get the young professionals? How do we get the youth? How do we get startups on board? How, as an industry, how do we reposition ourselves? The one thing I always say, and I keep on telling some of my clients, is that And I think that Yao said it at the beginning, your CEO, that insurance is the backbone of every investment. You cannot invest without insurance. And so we need to start treating insurance as a core element of financial planning. No matter the plan you have, we need to send that education out there. You cannot plan without insurance. It must be treated as a core, and we need to send that information. So, for instance, insurance must be placed along budgeting. Insurance must be placed along savings. Insurance must be placed along investments. It should not be a negotiable part. Whatever you're putting your efforts in, whatever you're putting, where your heart is, insurance must be there. Another thing also is we need to start creating what we call an entry-level insurance product. So, for instance, if I want to buy a health insurance cover, can I get the minimum one? So when people finish school and they can get a health insurance, that can cover just malaria and some basic, illnesses, malaria, cold, and that is captures only that. They start building the capacity and the taste for insurance. And so we need to start looking at how then do we introduce them bits and pieces. For instance, a lot of Ghanaians do not take personal accident cover. If you see personal accident cover, it's either a company is taking it or it is embedded in a product. Now we need to start looking and moving away from that and bring personal accident cover as an everyday life cover and get the young people to start building the momentum, the understanding, and the environment in purchasing these insurances. And it can be a small, sum insured, but it would have an effect and would introduce them to the environment. For instance, insurance, generally gadget insurance, we start introducing something small like that and introducing the young professionals into the environment. They start building the taste and appetite to do that. And then the other thing too is that there's a growing space for free loan. How do we create products that protect these freelancers? Oh, I'm a designer, I'm a photographer, I'm a caterer, I do my small. There are so many of these, businesses. How do we create? And we need to start looking at creating these entry-level products that will suit them. And I think that we need to start looking at digital first distribution, because most of the youth, most of these young professionals are tech savvy. They do every single transaction. We're going to church online. We're doing our all night online. We're marrying online. We're meeting our wives online. Everything is online. You can buy fufu. You can buy your favorite T-shirt online. So we need to start making sure that insurance is easy and accessible online. If we are going to roll in the young professionals and the startups within, our system. And another thing also is that I think some few years ago, my firm, sponsored by GIZ, did a project for the Chartered Insurance Institute of Ghana, where we did what we call the ABC of insurance. We need to start looking at how then do we use that document that has been produced to educate people. We need to embed, for instance, we need to start talking to all universities that are teaching entrepreneurship and embed insurance in that, so that everybody learning entrepreneurship within the various environments will know about insurance. We need to start embedding insurance in various. We need to set up insurance clubs in the various universities and secondary schools, so that people will start building the knowledge and environment of insurance. And then now one of the biggest trends is when we talk about the community-based insurance programs or group-based insurance programs. The old students, the area community watchdog, the family groups, we need to start seeing how then do we get all of them to reposition themselves to embed insurance in their programs and activities. I believe that once we start doing some of these things, we will be repositioning and we'll start getting the young professionals and the startups to build an appetite and taste and trust for insurance. And therefore, the future of insurance then will grow. Nee?
Thank you very much. Insightful and practical solutions to shift our mindsets to security. Thank you so much, Mr. Abiu. You have expertly addressed the burning points that has been bothering us for a while. I'm sure as we were listening, our thoughts or our experiences were being provoked, and I'm sure it would have generated some questions in our minds. So please do well to drop them. We are live on X, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Drop your questions and comments also in the Q&A section, and then we'll be sure to share that with our subject matter experts on the call today. But I'd like us to now dive into the practical mechanisms of using insurance to manage risk. To guide us to do this, I'm joined by two excellent professionals. They are subject matter experts in this field. The first of my panel is a highly accomplished and results-oriented leader specializing in strategic corporate engagement within the insurance and financial services sector. She's the team lead of the Asian and Foreign Corporates, a sales business unit of Coronation Insurance Ghana Limited. And she brings to this discussion a unique and invaluable perspective on the complexities of managing cross-border business relationships and serving on the distinct needs of the client. I would like to mention that beyond her operational experience in customer relationship management, policy administration, and efficient transaction processing, she possesses some strong academic qualifications that make her the subject matter expert for this discussion. She holds a diploma in from the Chartered Institute of Insurance Ghana, and she is also a student of the ACCA. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Rita Nelson. We also have another very strong professional to help us in the discussion. He's the head of underwriting of Coronation Insurance Ghana Limited. He has over a decade of experience in the insurance sector, working in various insurance companies, both locally and internationally. He is an associate of the Chartered Institute of Insurance Ghana and holds a diploma from the Insurance Institute UK, as well as a BA in Economics and Entrepreneurship from the University of Development Studies. He has garnered extensive experience in underwriting, portfolio management, risk assessment, inspection, and sales. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to our discussion the head of underwriting Coronation Insurance, Felix Boateng.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this discussion. We are going into the practical mechanisms of using insurance to mitigate the risk. Michael has said a lot about how we can take advantage of technology. He has also mentioned how we can tell our stories when it comes to claims payments. He has laid the foundation practically for both insurers and then insureds to follow. But I want our discussion to basically address the needs of the ordinary Ghanaian when it comes to getting insurance from us. It is moving them from that place of uncertainty to security. I would like to ask from Rita. Rita, in your experience engaging customers daily, what are the most common and everyday risks that you think the ordinary Ghanaian faces? And how do they end up underestimating these risks? And what is the lack of awareness about it that makes them unwilling to buy insurance?
Nee, thank you very much for the question. My name is Rita Nelson, and I have 10 years experience in the field. I am currently handling the Asian and Foreign Corporate Unit in Coronation Insurance Ghana. And today I'm excited to be here with you to share my insights and knowledge about the topic. And I believe and hope at the end of this webinar, we will all practice it efficiently and effectively. Nim, to go to your question, from my years of experience, I have really realized that most Ghanaians underestimate risks.
Yes.
They normally don't want to take this risk because they think that when something happens, they are being protected by their maker. Others also believe that it's bound to happen, so when it's happened, we will sort ourselves out. But if you bear with me, in our normal lives, if you underestimate something, you cannot manage it. It's just like insurance. When you underestimate risks, you cannot take insurance to protect yourself. Most of the risks that Ghanaians underestimate are catastrophic risks, accidents and injuries. Hence, they do not take insurance such as fire material damage, group personal accidents, workmen compensation to protect themselves when these uncertainties happen. But what I normally ask them is that when something happens, how then do you bounce back? Let's take example the recent fire outbreaks that is happening in most regions. To be precise, the one that recently happened at Katamanto. A lot of people are finding themselves wanting as to how to bounce back. Some are even jobless. Others are even falling on government to see how best they can bounce back. But must we leave ourselves into this situation? No. Certainly not. So to me, I think we shouldn't underestimate risks at all. Let's take insurance to protect our assets. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Rita. I think you've clearly said it. If you underestimate something, you cannot effectively manage it. So sure. We are interested in knowing how not to underestimate the risk that we face. And I think you've mentioned it. If you look at the rate of accidents that are happening, either concerning fires or road accidents, you realize that, yes, it looks like sometimes, or most of the time, typical of our part of the world, it looks like we are underestimating risk. There's also an angle that says that people probably are not underestimating the risk. It's just that they do not know or they do not have the capacity to manage the risk that they have identified. People view insurance as an expense rather than a financial protection tool. What behavioral or cultural barriers do you see when it comes to selling to individuals and SMEs concerning the fact that they see insurance as an expense rather than as a protection tool? And how do you help them to reframe this in this perspective so that they see insurance as safety rather than expense?
Wow, this is a practical one. Normally we encounter this on the field. Most of clients see insurance as an expense rather than a protection tool. But normally when you go there, they try to show certain behavioral attitude and all that. Some try to snub you, others try to ignore you. Sometimes they even make you feel as if insurance is of no importance to them at all. Yeah. Others even don't show readiness for you. They leave you seated. But some accept you and come on board. Normally, the questions I threw to them in order to reframe their mind from it is that, assuming you invest in 21 million Ghana cedi on assets, and maybe a sales rep approach you to pay just a premium of 20,000 Ghana cedi, and you refuse. When something happens, how then do you bounce back? Will you be falling on friends? They may disappoint you. Why don't you leave your risk to an insurance company to take care of it for you so that you have that peace of mind? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rita. Your last statement, will you be falling on friends or you be falling on your own investments when you have a tool like insurance to help you address these risks? I'll come to you, Felix. If we understand our risk and then we are ready to manage these risks, and then we hear about insurance and then we want to approach insurance to manage our risk, we would see, like when Michael was speaking, you realize that there's about 90% of Ghana's private sector that's contributing to SMEs, or that's contributing to national development through SME activities. Then we also come to see the deficits when it comes to insurance penetration. And now I'm asking that, how is Coronation Insurance, or how is underwriting, from your perspective, tailoring products or designing services for SMEs, individuals, to improve their participation, especially when it comes to retail, transport, and other areas of business for which they see these risks? Can you share some light on that?
Thank you very much, Nii. I think personally I've been learning a lot from the conversation that has been happening. From the two speakers, our keynote speaker, and also from my colleague, Rita. One thing that I want to add to this whole topic is that normally people don't try to patronize something that they are not aware of or they don't even know. We are talking about uncertainty. It's something that is unknown. So you ask yourself, why would someone want to invest or put money into something that is unknown?
Yeah.
That is one. We also need to understand what risks are. Do the informal sector especially knows the risks which are associated with their daily activities? It's very, very important, because if they are aware and they know that there is a product which will able to bring them back when these risks crystallize, then they themselves will be going out there to look for the solutions for themselves. In Coronation, I think we have identified some of these gaps in the market. Mostly our standard policies in the insurance market are normally tailored towards the corporate world or the corporate environment. So what can we do to bridge this gap? What can we do to be able to bring our products to the doorsteps of these informal sectors, which we know is the gap that we want to bridge? So over the years, what we have done, I think from 2021, that is when we started developing and also bundling some of these products together to tailor them to the needs of the SMEs, retailers, individuals, policies that we know that it's affordable, okay? It's something that resonates with their risks on a daily basis, and also it's something that they are willing to also buy. The willingness also goes with accessibility. How do we distribute these products to them? Is it going to be we having this product in our offices and then we expect them to come from their market to come and buy it? Or we distributing through channels that we think that is very accessible to them? So we have a product like the business protection insurance product. It's a bundle product, which we have looked at ways like fire, which we know that especially for the market, those who work in the market environment, the informal sectors are very high exposed to. I think as at June this year, we have around like 3,500 fires, around the industry. This by the National Fire Service, their data as at June. Okay, so we have fire there. We also have theft. Theft is one of the risks that most people are exposed to, and normally you hear people, oh, you have told me and stuff like that, but data collections around theft is very, very minimal. We also have this fire as part of the product that we have. Aside that, we also talk about personal accident. When Mr. Abi was talking about, he mentioned some of these things, that these are things that he believes that if the insurance industry tailored their products around, the informal sector will be readily available to purchase. And we have this product, okay? In terms of accessibility or distributing this product, we have put this product on digital platforms. So if you go to our e-coronation platform, coronation, we have a digital platform that we call e-coronation. These products are there, which are readily available. You put in few details in there, you make payment, you get your policy. Okay. Aside that, we have went further. We have went further to put this into our MTN Momo platform. We have realized that most Ghanaians use Momo. Most Ghanaians use Momo. So why don't we distribute our products through the Momo platform? So as we are talking now on the MTN USD platform, the Momo platform, that's *170#. If you go there, you see our business protection insurance as part of the insurance product that are listed there. That's what we are doing. Currently, we are even trying to implement the same product on their MTN app, which we know that it will be more flexible for a lot of people. Aside that, we have a home shield policy. This home shield is tailored for young people, individuals who mostly think that, oh, they don't own a house. So why do they need a home insurance? Okay, but mind you, these people are exposed to risk of fire, like the homeowner. But this, we are talking about their content in the home. You have rented. You use money to even rent. And then you have buy some stuff, a young person coming up, you have your TVs, you have your fridge, and, your clothing itself, So why don't we design a product that will be tailored towards these people? So we have done that. In that product too, we also have extend the product to cover for alternative accommodation. That's for rent.
Yeah.
We know that we can't pay all the rent for you when there's an issue like this, but at least we can give you something small to put you in an alternative accommodation, so that when the fire, you'll be able to clear the place before you come back. At least you have something small to rely on. Aside that, we also have personal accident in that particular product. Okay, and it's very, very affordable to the extent that if you have 250 Ghana cedis, you'll be able to buy this product, that we have. And you don't need to, let's say, itemize everything that you have, which is one of the traditional way that insurance people will do. We will ask you to come and itemize all the things, list them, give us the amount that are involved with each of them. Same applies to the SMEs people who have shops and that. So we have a standard sum insured that we say, okay, for this product, if you are buying, we are giving you 50,000 if something happens to you. That is it. Come and pay 200 Ghana cedis. We will be able to sort you out. So we don't need coming to list everything, which at times is a little bit cumbersome for a lot of people. Don't want to go through that stress. So these are some of the things that we are doing to make sure that some of these products that we have resonate with the informal sector and individuals. And it's something that is ongoing that we want to do more. Most of the micro product that we are now trying to bring up is mostly for the informal sector, and we believe that if people are educated and are aware of this product that the company have, the perception that insurance companies are interested in premiums will not be there, because people will realize that no, we want to cater for them, because the premium that we collect as insurers is not for reinsurers. We are taking these premiums into a pool, so that when the unfortunate happens, we'll be able to go into the pool, take some, and then we'll be able to reimburse anybody who is affected and is part of the pool. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Felix. Interesting statistics that you have shared with us there, and interesting technical perspectives too that you have provided. I am very moved by the fact that you are mentioning that with 250 Ghana cedis you can get home insurance.
Sure.
That's amazing. But then it brings me to the question that if you've hinted on the avenues through which we can get it, we can get insurance, it means that accessibility, the problem of accessibility has been catered for. The products that you mentioned are available, whether for individuals or SMEs, home insurance, insurance for shops, and so on, they've been catered for. Then it comes to the point where I think you try to address it. A lot of Ghanaians believe that insurance companies make money from insurance and they don't pay claims. And then the other problem is the fact that we've heard about insurance. We know how it addresses our risk, but we cannot afford it as little as it is. Even if you mention 250 Ghana cedis for home insurance, you realize that the average Ghanaian doesn't have so much disposable income to pay 250 Ghana cedis for uncertainties. What are your thoughts on providing solutions for those who want insurance but cannot pay for insurance? How do you think we can address that problem, or how do you think we can bridge that gap and then make insurance accessible and then payable by everybody, irrespective of where they are in the economy?
Thank you, Ni. Yes, the affordability can be relative. Like I mentioned, yes, 250 Ghana cedis can be something high for someone to pay at a go. You know, there's an option that we are currently looking at to, you know, make sure some of these premiums are being paid on a daily basis. We have started some conversation with the National Insurance Commission on how best we can come up with such a product. So far, there are guidelines into how the product that we have as insurance companies are being priced. I think it's one of the challenges and the bureaucracies around how at times some of insurance companies want to come up with their product. But I think in the new NIC Act, there have been some issues around innovation, which the NIC now is willing to come out with innovative product, which normally we are looking at the digital world, how we'll be able to leverage on digitization to make sure that we'll be able to get premiums, you know, on maybe daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis. Mm-hmm. So I think currently we are even working on a product like that we want to do it on a monthly basis for the start, you know. So it's a gradual process that the industry is working towards. At first, mostly it's 1 year, and then the focus was on the traditional, you know, way of selling insurance, you know, and to corporate clients and high-end individuals. But now we are shifting to bring some of these products, you know, to the doorsteps of the people around them. And even aside that, some of these our products, the new product that we are trying to develop for the micro sector, we try to limit the exclusives that normally for a corporate industry businesses we want to do them. So for a practical example, like let's say in a normal standard fire policy, they will tell you that you will need a fire extinguisher in your home or in your premises. Before when there's a fire, insurance can even come in. If there's theft, they will tell you that you need the security 24 hours to be able to have, you know, claim. These are some of the things that normally when it happens, people don't trust insurance. But it's something that we are trying to eliminate, because looking at our environment and then the sector that you want to go to, most people don't have these things. Yeah. And aside that, we try to also educate them. Even without insurance, don't wait for something to happen. Have this mitigation, you know, services. You have a fire extinguisher, which at times they are not expensive, that you can use to cater for some of these fires when they start coming up, and it will help you to help us. So that is what we are currently doing to make sure that we bridge this gap, because looking at the penetration rate is nothing to write home about, and we as insurers, we need to do a lot of more education. Education, which is very, very important for us. We need to do more, reach a lot of people for them to understand what we are trying to provide, because we are there for their interest. We are not there for their premiums. We are there to make sure that whenever there's an unfortunate event, insurance people should come in. Because anytime when there's a fire or catastrophic event in Ghana, and people start running to the government, why not insurance? Yeah. Because that is when we should be having calls that insurance people come for us. And normally when you listen to the news, anytime there's fire incident, like you have 1 or 2 people who are able to rely on insurance and they don't stress. But those who doesn't have insurance is the one that, you know, normally go through the start, and it's very devastating.
Thank you, Felix. Hold that thought for me. You mentioned something about policy exclusions and how we need to do a lot more education in order to get our clients or our prospective clients interested, or to find our policies easier to manage. So I want to come to Rita. Rita, you have a lot of experience in selling or in managing clients. Policy exclusions, documentation and claim processes are the areas that customers often misunderstand. So you find somebody who typically has an insurance policy but doesn't understand the exclusions in his policy. And these are the areas that become the pain points when it comes to paying claims. What practical approaches do you as a salesperson employ to ensure that customers clearly understand what they are buying, what is covered, what is not covered, what the next steps are, and how to even manage themselves when there's a claim? Can you share some light with us?
Thank you for the question. You know, with insurance, policy documentation is very key. And based on my profession, my code of conduct is very key to me, especially the most important part, the integrity and transparency aspects.
Certainly.
So normally what I do, I share a summary of a drafted policy to a client for them to review it. I later go there to have a discussion with them to really make them understand what the policy entails, what is supposed to cover, what it doesn't cover. I let them know everything about it. I later share a proposal form with them to make sure that they really understand the policy they are undertaking, so that when something happens, they will not say, Rita, you deceived me, you didn't tell me what the policy cover and all that.
That's true.
I normally want to clear their thought on that. So I really make sure that I have a discussion with them to make sure that they really understand the policy they are undertaking. Yeah. In order not to have any claim dispute with them, I also ensure that I take them through the claim process. I let them know what they are supposed to bring and all that to file a claim for them. And in collaboration with my claim department, I ensure that they are paid within the stipulated period of time, so that we wouldn't have any issue when they are having claims. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Rita. This is what I believe Michael was talking about when he said we should have professional salespeople selling our products. Salespeople that understand the product, the policy documentation, and can manage their customers through the claims process. And we need to tell our stories, right?
Sure.
Michael mentioned that too. If we are telling our stories, Rita, as a salesperson, I would ask you again, can you share with us some field experiences that are very powerful examples throughout your engagements with clients? We would like you to share maybe one or two real cases where insurance has significantly helped a customer recover from a loss, and how you think that story has reshaped perspectives either for the customer or for his workers or his family. Please share some with us.
You know, I have a lot of cases when it comes to this, but I would like to share the recent one with you.
Very well.
As part of my prospecting schedule, I one day passed through a garage to sell my product to anyone buying a property in there. I met a gentleman who was there to purchase a brand new car. I approached him and had a discussion with him to see how best I can get his asset to insure. I approached him and asked him that, boss, please, I want to do a comprehensive policy for you. Only for him to tell me that I'm not doing comprehensive, I'm doing third party, because there's a requirement from government that you need to have insurance. That's third party.
And this
policy.
person was buying a brand new car.
Yes, so brand new car. Yes, so can you imagine?
Right,
so I had to have a discussion with him. But finally, he agreed to do the comprehensive. Okay. But do you know what's happened?
Tell us.
2 weeks later, he came back telling me that, Rita, it's good you told me to do comprehensive. There is this tricycle, that's Abuboya, was passing and he just crossed me and I damaged my car. I told him, you remember I told you to do comprehensive? He said, yes, you did that. And I said, let me have all the necessary documentation I told you about when we were onboarding the policy. He He provided me with all the documents. I had a collaboration with my claim department, and he was eventually paid. But do you know the surprise thing?
Tell me about it.
He started giving me referrals. And all those within his cycle changed their policy from third party to comprehensive.
Yeah.
And it was a top notch.
Yeah. I can imagine that for a brand new car, to replace a brand new car
Yes,
from your
so-
pocket, that's like buying two cars and buying insurance all over again.
I tell you.
That's very true.
Sure.
Rita, thank you very much for that example. Felix, I'll come back to you. In a larger picture, we are talking about other threats away from the most common ones that we know. We are experiencing extreme weather conditions. We are experiencing increased road accidents. Insurance is becoming more and more complex. But at the same time, we are talking about accessibility and availability of insurance products. But the effects of adverse weather conditions and the road accidents are affecting everybody, and not only in loss of property or loss of lives, but livelihoods are affected. How is Coronation managing its underwriting, or what kind of underwriting frameworks are put out there to make sure that despite all these risks and despite the extent to which these risks can affect someone, one insurance policy is able to cover adequately? So for example, is there an insurance cover that I can buy that protects my car and my house at the same time, that protects my accidents and any other losses around my business? Is there a one-stop shop, or is there a one product that covers me adequately for all the risk, both existing and anticipated? Please shed light on that.
So I think for the micro level, when it comes to informal sectors, the micro product that we have developed, most of them have the standard policies being combined at that macro level. So issues like fire, flood, any associated perils, we have personal accident and all those types. We have a bundle products that cater for those needs, especially for the informal sector. But when it comes to the traditional ones, the standard ones, we haven't really, put a lot of them, because most of them are on portfolio basis. So there are different risks under each portfolio. So we want to categorize them as different. But if you are a client and you want some of these products to be combined for you, so that you know that, okay, all my policies are starting at one point or one date, and then it's expiring at the same date. Insurance companies, we are able to leverage on that, and then gives you a combined policy. But internally, probably how you treat it might be different. But that options are there. You talk about extreme weather conditions, climate change. I think it's one of the issues that is coming up, and then when it comes, it's catastrophic. I think in Ghana we haven't faced a lot of these extreme weather conditions. I think the common one that we normally face is flood. I think every year we have instances of flood, happening, and then the effects and then the losses both for property and then for life is very, very huge. So most of our policies, have this flood as one of the perils that we cover. So these products are there for people. But one thing we have realized is that it's the corporate world, okay, who normally accept these products, and they want to buy to cater for these risks. When it comes to the individual basis, especially when you talk about people living in flood-prone areas, a lot of people are not even aware that there are these products available for them to cover. And there's also an interesting thing about insurance, that our industry is too rigid when it comes to exploring some of these extreme risk areas. So at times we don't want to venture into those kind of areas. When we say it's a flood-prone area, most people don't want to do that. So what can we do as an industry to bridge this gap? So I think this work started way back in 2019, which started with the GIZ, and it brings a lot of insurance companies together to have a parametric insurance, especially for flood. Okay, so the industry is working on a flood specific, product which will cater for people living in flood prone areas. So this is what the industry is doing to cater for, the needs of these people. Aside flood, the other emerging risks like cyber risks, even for vehicles, we talk about electric vehicles. These are new form of vehicle that we have in the market. Normally, we're not having these vehicles now coming up, and these vehicles also have its unique risk that insurance have to look at it. So currently at Coronation, we have some electric vehicles in our portfolio, and we try to accommodate all these risks so that at least people will have that flexibility to move around, having the hope that they have a backbone that if the unfortunate happens, the insurance company will come and then reimburse them. So that's what we are doing.
That's interesting, Felix. That's very interesting. So it's generally means that those that want insurance need to engage you more, and then describe their risk to you, and you should be able to give them a cover that addresses everything, whether the problem is making payments or getting the right cover. We should be able to have some discussions with you, and then you'd be able to help us. Thank you very much, Felix. I have about 2 questions online, but before I take them, I would like to go over to our keynote speaker, Michael. I would like to surely take some comments from you, but before then, maybe you can help us to address one of the issues that has come up in the discussion so far, and which is how we can approach insurance. What would you advise we do when it comes to people who need insurance, looking at the risks that we are exposed to? Should it be something that we do on a monthly basis? Should it be something that we do on a yearly basis? What are your thoughts when it comes to selecting an insurance company? People often ask these questions because, for example, they take a whole year cover and then sometimes nothing happens, and then they feel like they would have gone for a month's cover that would have been more affordable and more manageable for them. So how do you advise someone when it comes to picking the right insurance cover, picking the right insurance company, and then making the right schedule of payments? Michael?
Okay, so let me start from the first one, which is how do you select the right cover? For me, it's about information. And for us as salespeople, that is one of the things we contribute to when it comes to this industry. We need to know, understand, learn, and be able to provide that information. So mostly I'll tell my clients that let me show you something. Let me explain the situations to you. Let me let you know what is available, what is not available, what can be done and what cannot be done. And based on that, then you can be able to take the decision. So the first thing is to be able to provide enough information. Now, this information is not about just the cover that is being provided. It's about understanding the position of the client. What are their exposures? What are their risks? And what are the things that can be done to mitigate those risks? And you add insurance as one of the options, for them. Once you do that, then that would help. There are many times where you also encounter those who must sell the product that do not have a general understanding of the full spectrum of the product. And so that is also one thing that we need to do. Now, also you would want to, when it comes to company, cover then comes in. You want to see who gives you a bit more reach in terms of your cover. Who is limiting you in terms of exclusions, and who is basically taking some of the exclusion of that allows you, the environment for you to be able to cover a lot more of your exposures. So you want to select an organization that gives you the widest coverage, but also you want to work with that organization that has credibility, and credibility in terms of claims payment. Are they the organization that wants to find every reason why they should not pay? Or there are organizations that are looking for the reasons why they should pay? And there are 2 different types of organizations. One is eager to restore the client, and therefore he's asking questions in order to be able to fast track the process and restore the client. There's another who's also asking questions, and the focus is, are there areas I can use not to pay? So I would really want to work with an organization that basically has a good history with claims payment. And of course, Coronation comes up as one of those organizations that one would want to align with. And I spoke earlier about payments also, and it's one of the things that I would want to look out for in an organization. One, you want to see what is the rating. Are they rating because they are just rating, or you are working with an organization, or you're selecting a company that understands your risk and wants to understand your risk, and therefore design the products in a way or price the product in a way that fits you. There have been times where even myself and my organization, I'm doing insurance, and I tell the underwriter that, hey, you don't understand my business. Because if you understand my business, you'll not be charging that much. And there are times where the rates are also low because the person or the underwriter doesn't understand the business. So if you have an underwriter, a company that would want to ask you those questions, what business are you in, what type of risk, and do your evaluation based on that. And therefore, if you are doing things like, for instance, you have fire extinguishers, for instance, you have an exit, then you are putting structures in place to minimize claims, then it should add to the value that you're paying. So I'll select a company because of that, and I would advise customers to select companies because of that. And also, and then that comes to payment. For instance, everybody is looking at a way to ease the cash flow burden on the organization or on themselves. And therefore, people are looking for options that are more flexible but not too expensive. And these are things that I think that a lot of customers will be looking out for, and they should be looking out for. When it comes to what's the name, payment also, you want to also be able to look at the flexibility. Are we designing payment systems that fit the type of clients that we're expecting to buy the product or not? And you want to be able to understand that between you, the customer, and the organization, do they have the understanding? Now I even want to extend to how they pay claims in terms of are they putting in structures, or they have to write a check, you have to go there, or they're saying we can do a transfer, we're making the process easier for you. And so these are the things I would look for in an organization. But one key thing which I told to the team, where you are now taking steps to say that, you know what, let's educate you, let's give you more information so we can allow you to process and take decisions that would help your businesses and would help grow your businesses. I have had clients that I have been working with for the past 18 years. And I've become an insurance advisor, and these business owners have set up 5-6 companies after the first one, and all of them are with me. And why? Because there's a clear understanding. Even before they set the company up, I know, because they will come to you and say, we want to do this, Mike, can you advise us on insurance? We're going into this construction, what is it that we need? And so being able to educate and build the capacity and get a client to understand their risk exposures and helping them protect them is good. So I would always select a company that is doing that. And I think that this is a good thing. Maybe quarterly might be too long if you can make it short every month. That a lot of people are looking for information, and I would encourage you to continue that way.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, Nick.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abiu. Thank you. I think you have addressed all of that. As I mentioned in the beginning, the material for this presentation will be made available after the engagement. If you haven't registered already, please do well to register so that we can have your contacts and then share the material with you. I have introduced Felix and then Rita, who have been our panelists for today. You can also get in touch with them after the program, and then they would be able to share the insights with you. There are 2 questions that I have online, and I would like to direct both of them to Rita, since they are both sales-related conversations. The first question, both questions are coming from our WhatsApp platforms. The first question is coming from Ellen. Ellen wants us to explain the claims process and how quickly a motor insurance claim can be paid by an insurer. So Rita, could you help us with that?
Thank you for the question, Ellen. I believe with claim process, if you want to file a claim for motor insurance, when you get all your documentations intact, that's for example, when there is a damage on your car, you need to provide us with an estimate of the damaged items. We need to get a valid license and a claim form which will be provided by us for you to fill. And when we get all the necessary documentation within a shortest possible time, your claim would be paid within 48 hours.
Right. Thank you, Rita. I believe this applies to motor and non-motor insurances.
Yes, that is when we get all the documents on time, and there wouldn't be any back and forth with the documents. It should be paid within 48 hours.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have a personal follow-up question. And how would our clients, like Ellen is asking, how would she know what kind of document you require when a claim occurs? Is it the same document for every kind of claim? If it's motor, what do you want? If it's fire, how would your customer know that these are the documents you want to make a claim?
Okay, so normally when we are onboarding the clients, we let the clients know all the documentation we need when there is a claim. But then there is a different documentation you need to bring based on the insurance you undertake. So like I said, if it's a motor policy, we need a filled claim form, we need that of an estimate, and that's of your license, a valid one, to process the claim for you. When it's a fire policy, we will need the evaluation of your building. We also need the stock items. I think that one we even take it at the point of doing the insurance, so we might have it, but then you have to give us an invoice showing the damaged items with the value involved. Then you fill a claim form as well, then your claim can be filed for you.
Right. That sounds like a very simple process.
Sure.
But I think, Felix, you want to add something to that?
Yes. I think I just wanted to add something to what Rita said in the claims process. One important thing in the claims process is notification of your claim. Okay, I will urge everyone, okay, especially our clients, that the moment there's a damage to your property, whether it's vehicle or property, notify your contact person in the insurance company. Because the moment you notify us, what we do is that the claims people will visit physically. Okay, when they come, they will take pictures, take all the necessary documents, so that we don't hassle for all these things by yourself. So when you do that, it makes the whole process very, very flexible and efficient for us. So notification is very, very important. So I think it's one of the things that people need to do instantly. Yeah, at times, because of the nature of that thing, you might not, insurance might not come up. We try to make sure that you're okay and all that. But the moment you come to yourself, it's important that you notify us. The moment you notify us, our inspections team will come and then have take a look of the damaged items. And from there, like Rita said, within 48 hours, we make payment. There are instances that we even make payment, same day when the values are, or the damage amount is very, very low.
Felix, do you say you make some payments same day?
Yeah, we do same day payment.
That's interesting.
And when it comes to the requirements to, our policy documentation, if you look at all our policy documents that we provide, we list all the documents that we will need when there's a claim. So everything is there, spelled out for the clients to take note. So we urge everyone to take notice of some of this, so that when there's a claim, you put everything together, so that some of these claims are being paid within the short possible time.
Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. I like how this has been explained. It sounds very simple. Ellen, I hope your question has been answered. Personally, I also think that maybe in our next session of a webinar, we would focus directly on claim settlement processes, where we would take your experiences on how some of your claims have been settled and how to manage your policy documentation. I think it would help a lot when it comes to understanding policies. We spoke in the beginning about getting awareness across to prospective buyers and even policyholders. So maybe in our next webinar, let me know what you think about it. If you want us to go into talking about claims and how to handle claims and the claims process for Coronation Insurance Ghana Limited, we'll bring that to you. Thank you very much. The next question is from Samuel. Samuel is also coming in through our WhatsApp platform. Samuel wants to know, and I'll take that from you, Rita, how has digitization changed the sales process? Because there is physical sales and then there's digital sales. Sorry, which one is better? Should I buy physically or digitally? Rita, what do you think?
Thank you for the question, Sam. You know, digitalization has really improved the sales process. Gone are the days where a salesperson has to walk through to a client's office, initiate a policy, come back to the office to do the policy and send the policy document back to the clients again. But then, due to the introduction of digitalization, this is no more. You have to sit at the comforts of your houses or offices and initiate a policy by just going to the company website or even using the company USSD. Just like Coronation, you can dial *789 *115 hash to initiate a policy, and your sticker, certificates, and everything will be initiated instantly. So to me, as individual, I think it is better you sit at your comfort zone to initiate a policy, and you get all your documents than driving all the way to the insurance company to initiate a policy. When you are in your houses, you can still get all the documents. So I urge each and everyone to rather use the digital means to buy insurance rather than going to the company to buy insurance.
Thank you very much, Rita. That was quite clear. These days we have a concept where we are putting together the physical and then the digital approaches. We call it the phygital approach, where people still come to you to sell the product, but after describing the whole product to you, they go ahead to help you to buy digitally. I think it's part of the education that we need to be pushing out there.
Sure.
If you guide them through if you physically guide them through how to buy digitally or how to make their claims digitally, you can leave them to. I believe Coronation has some products like that. But before we go into that, I want to remind our listeners, our viewers, that we are still taking the questions, comments, contributions for our panelists, for our keynote speaker, and even for the organization as a whole. This is the webinar that is closing the year. We are talking about risk, moving us from uncertainty to security, the role of insurance in managing risk. We have been able to identify certain risks that we are all exposed to, whether as individuals, as corporate entities, or as SMEs. There are some risks that affect us all, whether it's ourselves or the next door neighbor or the next company or our competitors. These risks are open to us all, and we need to protect ourselves. Rita mentioned if you underestimate your risk, you cannot effectively manage it. We've had so many discussions around how to manage these risks, how to identify the products you need, how to select the right insurance cover, how to select the right insurance company. And we believe that this has improved your knowledge and the awareness creation that we are talking about. My subject matter experts have also touched on a few things, but before I let them go, I would like to take some final words from the keynote speaker, Mr. Biu. But before then, I just want to say that moving from uncertainty to security, it's a change, and change is not easy to make. But if you understand the risk that you're exposed to, and then you know that you need to protect yourself against financial losses, then you should be able to make the change quickly. Everything is doable if we make our minds to work at it. And Coronation Insurance Ghana Limited is bringing you this webinar because you need to understand the risk and you need to take some steps today. So I'll go over to Michael now. Michael, What would you give us as your closing remarks to sum up all the discussions that we've had?
So for me, first, I want to say a big thank you to an organization like Coronation for putting this together. I think it's a good thing. We need to build a more resilient and inclusive insurance culture within our society. I want us to remember that the future depends on how well we build products that or processes that looks at ethical and transparent claims. We want to also be able to look at affordable, flexible, and tech-enabled products. And I spoke about selling also, that we don't look at the sales first, but we look at the educate first approach. One of the things that we need to also consider is grassroots and digital, financial literacy, which is a very key thing that we need to consider. I also think that for us to be able to move forward as an industry, to be able to move us from uncertainty to security, we need to look at strong partnerships across regulators, across various insurance groupings, that is brokers, underwriters, the reinsurers. We need to look at partnerships across fintech platforms, and then we need to also look at partnerships across the networks in terms of the organizational networks that we have. I believe insurance must be reframed to move it from being a luxury for just some few people, for us to understand that it is a foundation for financial resilience, continuity, and long-term, security. I would want to talk about what your CEO said when we started. Every investment must have at its backbone insurance. And once we start doing that, we will start now moving insurance from that environment of uncertainty to security. A Ghanaian insurance industry that is informed, that is protected, and that allows various households to be able to get the protection they need. So thank you very much for having me, and I wish you well. I want to also use this platform to also wish everybody Merry Christmas in advance. Enjoy the season, but make sure you are protected whilst you enjoy. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Michael. Merry Christmas to you too, and to the rest of our viewers online. But before we go, we've spoken about products. I just want our expert underwriter Felix to touch once more on, just shortly, on the key products that anybody can buy and the channels through which they can buy. Felix.
Thank you, Nii. Okay, so for Coronation, we are a non-life insurance company, basically underwriting or selling non-life products. Key among them is motor insurance, which by its nature, the third-party aspect is compulsory by the Ghanaian law. So we expect that every vehicle owner, every vehicle which is on road needs to be insured. So for the motor insurance, we have three categories of them. We have the motor third-party insurance, which is the basic of them. We have the motor third-party fire and theft, which covers third-party liabilities in addition to fire and then theft. We also have the comprehensive, which happens to also have a component of the motor third-party fire and theft in addition to accidental damage. So if there's any accident to your own vehicle, the policy is there to cover for you. We also have various property insurance. So we have fire insurance, we have asset or risks, our business protection insurance, our home insurance policies. They are all under the property insurance, and we have various of them. Basically, it covers flood, it covers fire, it covers explosion, lightning, and its associated perils, theft, and accidental damages. Aside that, we also have travel. So for people who are willing to travel, World Cup is coming next year, and I know that a lot of people who want to be in the US, in Mexico, and in Canada. It's important that people also insurance policies which will cover you for all medical expenses once you are there. So if anything happens to you, our travel insurance is there to cater for all these expenses whilst you are there. Aside the travel insurance, we also have our engineering policies, which normally is tailored for contractors and high businesses who are do construction and other forms of businesses. So our construction policies are there and we sell them. Aside that, I also want to talk about our personal accident. You know, when Mr. Makabi was talking, he mentioned that at least most people should have a personal accident policy. And I think it's one of the least, expensive product that, anyone can have. And the requirements to have a travel policies are very, very flexible. Something that you can buy within, within 5 minutes.
Sorry, Felix. Sorry to stop you, but you mentioned that your personal accident cover is very affordable.
Yeah.
Can you just mention how affordable is it? How much am I looking at, and what does it cover? Take us away.
Okay, so let me start with the coverage, which is very, very important because we need to let people understand what the policy covers. So the personal accident policy covers you for any financial loss as a result of an injury or death to you, the individual. So if you're involved in any accident which will result in an injury to the body or the unexpected happens, the policy will cover you or brace you back to the position or cater for the expenses around the accident. So it covers for injury and death. So the medical expenses are being covered. The policy also covers for temporary disablement. It also covers for permanent disablement.
Okay.
These are very, very important things that people need to know, that in case within your work schedule, within your daily activities, if you are involved in any accident which will result in an injury, there is an insurance product that will be able to cover for the expenses that might happen after that.
And how much would it cost me?
So let's say for 100 cedis, you can have a personal accident cover for up to 10,000 Ghana cedis.
Wow, for 100 Ghana cedis, I can get a cover as much as how much? 10,000
Ghana cedis, yes.
That's very interesting.
You need to buy some.
Yeah, I think so.
You need to buy some.
So.
You need to buy some.
We have to continue this
I haven't seen
conversation.
you have some, so you need to buy some.
Thank you very much, Felix. We'll have to continue this conversation later on. And then your channels. I understand that we have some amazing channels through which we could buy insurance. USSD, e-coronation platform. I heard Rita talk about an MTN platform that we can buy from. Do you want to throw some light on it? After that, we take our closing remarks from our MD. Just throw some light on the channels through which we can.
Okay, so we have our digital platforms. So we have our e-coronation. So if you type www.ecoronation.com, it will take you to our digital platform where all our retail products, mostly retail products, you find them there for motor, for personal accident, for travel insurance, for home insurance. All these products are listed on our e-coronation. And it's an end-to-end process. So you start input your details, a few details that you require in it. The system automatically tells you how much you need to pay for the product. When you make payments, whether through MTN, Momo, Telecel, Airtel, Tigo, yes. When you make payment, or even Visa, you can make payment. The moment you make Visa, instantly you get your policy documentation. You get your policy document, your receipt, which shows or prove that you are buying the product. So this is the channel that you can buy most of our retail policies. Aside that, our business protection insurance is listed on the MTN mobile money platform. The USD platform. That's the star 170 hash.
Right.
When you go there, you go to the financial services. You see insurance. Coronation insurance is there.
Please take us to the short code again. Star 170.
Star
and then
170 hash.
Okay.
Then you go to financial services. Coronation. You see when you enter into the financial services, you see coronation insurance. When you click on the coronation, I think it's number 5. Then you click on coronation insurance. It will take you to our business protection insurance, and then it will ask you some few details like your name, the business name, the location. You make payment instantly. You get your policy documentations.
All right. Thank you very much.
So these are the channels that we have. We also have our claims portal.
Okay.
I think it's something that we need to mention before we leave. So we have our claims portal that customers can use to initiate claims process,
Okay.
and this is real time, activities around it.
Oh, so
So
they
you
can
know at
monitor
every
the
steps, you'll be
stages
able
that
to
their claim has
monitor the
reached.
stages,
That's great.
where the claims are brought into. So we have all the data platform that we have integrated into our core insurance system to make the insurance really
Experience,
fast,
yeah.
flexible, and convenient for everyone.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Felix, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like I mentioned, we would have other sessions where we dive deeper, or we delve deep into the issues surrounding claims management, and then the portals through which you can, and then how to even escalate claims when these things happen. I want to engage with you again on that. Felix, thank you so much. Insights today have been amazing. It's been very educative. The last hour or so that we have spent has been very mind-opening. Great insights from Michael, from Felix, and then from Rita. I thank you all so much. But I want to take my final comments from the MD. Dr. Yadom Barton, please give us your final comments as we wrap the session up.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nee. I believe the session has been very, very insightful, and I'm sure you all will agree with me. I would want to start first of all by thanking our experts from the presenter Abiyu for sharing such a detailed highlights, with us. Also, appreciation to the panelists, Rita and Felix. You could see the combination of the conversation actually all gears towards the fact that insurance is indeed the backbone or the safety net that will help us to move from an uncertainty to a more secured position. I was quite moved by some of the comments that or conversations that we had, and permit me to just touch on one key aspect from each of the presenters. Abiyu talked about the fact that we need to sell our claim story, and I totally agree, with you. Sometimes as insurance companies, when we make certain claims payment, we ask ourselves, so all these premiums, so all these claims are being paid to claimants. How many of the insurance public are really aware of this? So yes, I agree with you fully that we would need to really sell our story. That's the only way we can convince the insurance public that the value of insurance comes when there's actually an accident or an incident. So yes, we will need to find a way to still tell our story more, to convince the insurance public and to let them know the value of insurance. Rita spoke about the business referral that came as a result of offering the best professional advice. And I was really touched with that. You could see that had she not really taken the initiative to explain the benefit of the packages, the motor package to the clients, it would have been a different story altogether. So this tells us that indeed we need to be more professional. We need to be more engaging with our clients. We need to take our time to explain things, to them. That's the only way we can let them have a full appreciation of insurance. So Rita, thank you for sharing that insight with us. It's something that really
more of such series in the next few quarters. We have done a full-blown plan for the year 2026. And like you said, even a quarterly session might not be enough. So there might be a consideration of maybe holding it on a monthly basis. We will take that into account. But all these are to ensure that our clients have a full appreciation of the value of insurance. I want to thank all of you once again for joining. We appreciate the time you spent with us. We believe the session has been very insightful and fruitful to all of you. Thank you for joining us and look forward to seeing you again at our next session. Lee, back to you now.
Thank you for coming. Stay safe. Stay safe.
Buying motor insurance just got a whole lot easier. Enjoy the ease of getting covered anytime, anywhere, and it's fast, simple, secured, and convenient. Here's how to do it in just a few steps. Step 1. Log on to www.ecoronation.com. Navigate to Buy Insurance and select the Motor Insurance tab. Step 2. Fill out the brief form with your required details. Customer information. Choose your preferred business category, individual or corporate. Enter your name, phone number, email address, and date of birth. Next, product information. Select new business, vehicle registration number. Select your preferred product, comprehensive, third party or third party fire and theft. Select usage type, private individual, private corporate, taxi and etc. Vehicle value. Choose currency, which will give you your currency rate. Enter make, model, year of manufacture, vehicle trim, chassis number, color of vehicle, and select the start date, which will automatically give you the end date. Next, additional covers. Choose no or yes if you wish to buy extra seats, no or yes if you wish to buy excess, and no or yes for third-party property damage limit. Referral. No or yes if this is a referral business. Review the summary of details before clicking submit request. Step 3. Complete the payment securely online. Choose your preferred payment method: mobile money, Visa or MasterCard. If paying via mobile money, select your provider and enter your mobile money number. Review the summary of details before initiating payment. Once payment is successful, click to verify. Step 4. Download your policy documents, policy receipt, and policy sticker. Step 5. We value your feedback. Tell us about your experience with our service and what we could improve on, and submit feedback. Say goodbye to